Yo, 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 welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Breathe Hoops with your boy, Nikki P. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. Let's talk about this Western Conference Finals before this series gets underway. Ladies and gentlemen, or potential Western Conference Finals. By the time y'all see this video, it'll probably be solidified. But as of right now, May 15th, this ain't solidified, so we about to break this series down. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball fans, welcome to the precipice of a new NBA order. For the last half decade, the Western Conference has been a thunderdome of dynasties. The Warriors, the Nuggets, the Lakers. But this year, something ancient meeting something alien is breaking down. I'm talking, of course, about the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. On one side, you had the Thunder, a team built on the blueprint of the last 10 years. Athleticism, two-way wings, and an MVP-level scoring guard in SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They are the present. On the other side, on the flip side, the Spurs, but not your father's Spurs. No more Tim Duncan bank shots. No disrespect, he's one of arguably a top 5 GOAT. This is the hyperdrive Spurs, led by a 7'4" French prodigy who defies physics. They're the future of the NBA. Specifically, he is the future of the NBA if he can stay healthy. This Western Conference Finals isn't just a series, it's a referendum on where the league is headed. And after 7 grueling games, when the dust settles on the floor of the Frost Bank Center, one name will echo through history: Victor Wembanyama. Let's get into the player breakdowns and the superstars. For the Thunder, of course, we got SGA. He's the most clinical scorer in the NBA. He doesn't take bad shots too often. He lives in the mid-range and at the free throw line, even though, to be honest, the foul baiting is getting a little out of hand. He averages 31 points and 54% shooting inside the arc. His deceleration is his superpower. He stops on a dime and can pull up. He fly by, he leans in, or foul's drawn. Defensively, he's crafty. He can hold his own and be out on an island with good players and still stay with him step for step at times. He's not a liability on the defensive end like a lot of great scorers in today's era are. He is the calm eye of Oklahoma Storm. For the Spurs, of course, we got the freak of nature, Wembanyama. Where do we begin? He's not a unicorn. Unicorns are mythical. Wembanyama is a leviathan. He averages 24 points, 11 boards, and a jaw-dropping 4 blocks per game, which is ridiculous. But the number that terrifies the Thunder, 36% from 3 on pull-ups. He can handle the ball in transition. He can defend the rim without jumping. And here's the secret. In clutch time this year, Wemby's defensive rating was 92.3. That's Jordan-level closing. The sidekicks, for OKC, we got Jalen Williams, if he could get back healthy. He's the perfect second option. Well, at least for now. That boy A.J. Mitchell is up and coming, and he looks like he could go on to be a number 1 franchise type of player, possibly. So we'll see how his career goes. So that OKC has a grip of depth. 1 through 13 on their roster could probably be, top rotational guys on every team in the league. But Jalen Williams, he can play point forward, and he's not even back yet. He's a bully in the post against smaller guards. For San Antonio, Devin Vassell has become a legitimate 20-point scorer almost, who can run off screens and create his own shot when Wemby gets doubled. He's better off screens. He needs a little work in creating shots on his own, but he can pull up in the mid-range as well. Talented player. And Castle's pretty solid. He needs to get his basketball IQ up and stop making so many boneheaded plays out there. But he's a dog and he plays hard. The potential matchups. Let's get to the chessboard real quick. Here is where the series is won and lost. Matchup 1, Chet Holmgren versus Victor Wembanyama. This is the Wemby-Chet showdown everyone wants. Chet is a spectacular shot blocker in his own right. But here's the problem for OKC. Chet weighs 208 pounds. Wemby is 235 with an extra 5 inches of wingspan. In the post, Wemby will shoot over Chet. On defense, Wemby will wait for Chet's pump fake. Advantage Spurs. And at the end of the day, Victor Wembanyama just owns Chet every time they play. He bullies him, he big boys him, and it's no matchup. He makes sure the world understands that Chet Holmgren is not like me. So yeah, props for Victor for always dominating that matchup. And then matchup number 2, SGA versus the Spurs wall on defense. OKC's biggest advantage is SGA. San Antonio cannot guard him one-on-one. They'll throw Vaso at him. They'll throw Castle at him. They'll throw Johnson at him, put a big body on him like Johnson. They'll throw whoever they can, but they'll all fail on the island and one-on-one. So they'll do what Popovich does best and build a wall. They'll go under every screen and dare SGA to shoot threes. He shoots around, slightly over 30% from deep this year, and the Spurs will just sit back and pack the paint and keep him outside the paint. They'll force the ball out of his hands and make Jalen Williams or AJ Mitchell or somebody else beat him. Matchup 3, the rebounding war. The Thunder are not that great of a rebounding team, ranking about 20th in the league in rebounds as a team. They're, ranked near the bottom in terms of offensive rebounds as well. The Spurs with Wemby and Cornette and Johnson, pretty much all of their guards go in and get boards, especially Castle. He be getting boards in there and mixing it up with the bigs. They're a top 10 rebounding team. Every missed OKC shot is a potential transition bucket for San Antonio. If the Spurs control the glass, they control the pace. The strengths and weaknesses, both offensively and defensively, let's jump into it. For the OKC, for Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, offensive strength is their pace and their space and their ability to create shots on defenders, and get their own looks off in a one-on-one type of situation. They lead the league in drives per game. They collapse defenses and kick out the shooters, with the best of them. They're relentless offensively. But their weakness is half-court creation. When you slow them down and when you make them play against a set defense, SGA has to basically do everything. Well, now with Mitchell showing what he could do with the rock in his hands, it's not quite all on SGA's shoulders anymore. They got an ascending star that could be the X factor in pivoting this series and, determining the outcome. But with that said, they don't have a secondary post scorer. Their defensive strength, aggression, and physicality, they lead the league in steals and deflections. They swarm you. They close the airspace. They don't just let you walk the ball up court without any opposition. They turn defense into offense in 0.5 seconds. Their weakness, they don't really have too many defensive weaknesses. Outside of Chet being their main rim protector, when he's out the game, it's a lot easier to get to the rack on that team. Harkenstein is a solid player, but he's not really a defensive paint protector like that. If Wemby pulls Chet to the three-point line, the paint is a ghost town as well, so they're vulnerable to offensive boards. On San Antonio's side, San Antonio Spurs, their offensive strength is unpredictability. With Wemby as the hub at the free throw line, it's a 4-on-3 nightmare. You either double him and leave Vassell open for 3, or you don't and he dunks from the dotted line. Offensive weakness, point guard play. Like I was alluding to earlier, Castle often makes some boneheaded plays out there and commits some silly fouls that he could, otherwise remove from his game. Play a bit smarter, play a bit wiser. He'd be a much better point guard and still maintain that dog mentality he got out there. And at times when he's getting pressured as he brings the ball up, his handle isn't the greatest, and you could often bait him into turnovers. So we'll see how the Spurs play him and what they do. If they could speed him up into turnovers and, capitalize off of that. Defensively, their strength is a no-fly zone. With Wemby roaming, opponents shoot about 12% worse at the rim than their average. That's historic. Defensive weakness, basically when Wemby's out the game. But their perimeter foot speed, Castle is solid on defense. Vassell, their guards could play defense out there. De'Aaron Fox even, he's not a liability. He's not a top-notch on-ball defender, but he dang sure ain't a liability. So, they'll keep up with certain players, and the effort will be there, and they'll make players work for baskets, and it won't just be easy direct line drives to wide-open shots and layups. They rely on Wemby to clean up their mistakes. That's a risky strategy, but betting on Wemby ain't really that big of a risk. So let's get into the arc of the series. So how does this play out in 7 games? Yeah, I see this going 7, that's for sure. I don't see anybody winning in 5 or 6. Game 1 and 2 are split. The Thunder jump out the gate and come up just short in game 1, with the Spurs capturing that quick start to the lead on the series. Game 2, it's another battle, another close one. comes down to a nail biter, and A.J. Mitchell pulls up from the mid-range and ices it, knocking the game winner down and closing out a victorious triumph over the Spurs. And it's split. It's going back to San Antonio, a 1-1 split. In games 3 and 4 in San Antonio, Mitch Johnson makes some adjustments. He goes big. He puts Wemby at the 5 full time. He dares OKC to shoot over length. The Spurs win Game 3 on a big 20-plus point night from Vassell. Game 4, Wemby drops 30, 20 boards, and 5 blocks, and they go up 3-1. Leading into Game 5 back in OKC. OKC comes out swinging out the gate. SGA goes for 40. A.J. Mitchell goes for 32. And they come back. Chet has a 4 or 5 block game, drops in 20 himself. They come out with a rage and with a vengeance and playing desperate, trying not to get knocked out, trying to keep their chances open to get another Larry O'Brien trophy. And they smack the Spurs by 12 points. A convincing win, not close, not a nail biter, showing that they were in control of the game the majority of the time. Spurs go back home up 3-2. Game 6 in San Antonio. It's all about survival. The Spurs role players, like Champagne, hits 4 or 5 threes. They come out early and take over the first half, up 15 at halftime. But the Thunder come back roaring and raging and fighting for their lives. SGA goes for 25 in the second half. They lock up defensively. Lou Dort puts on one of the best defensive performances a team has ever seen in the Western Conference Finals. They push it into overtime. And from there, it's back and forth until the last 1.5 minutes of the game, where Spurs get a little cold, miss 2 or 3 shots on 2-3 possessions, and Shea ices them every time. The Oklahoma City Thunder steal the game. It's a silent crowd, shocked. Can't imagine that it's going to a Game 7. Now let's jump into it. Game 7, one for the ages, the cementing of a legacy. The Spurs walk into the arena. It's a blue crowd from top to bottom, every seat filled, unimaginable. It's loud, you can't even hear yourself think, but they gotta go to war. It's a tight game. Neither team leads by more than 5 throughout the whole game. SGA has 34, Wemby has 32. With 45 seconds left, Thunder lead by 1, OKC ball. SGA drives left, stops, pump fakes. Wemby doesn't bite. SGA tries a floater. Wemby times it perfectly and swats it against the backboard, and he catches the rebound himself. Timeout. Mitch Johnson and the Spurs. The play, inbound to Vassell. Vassell draws Chet. He kicks to Wemby at the top of the key. The clock is winding. 3 seconds left. Wemby rises. Chet closes out. It doesn't matter. Wemby shoots a high, arcing three-pointer that scrapes the ceiling of the arena. Seems like it takes forever to get back down to the rim. Swish. Nothing but net. The Spurs by 2. 1.2 seconds left. SGA heaves at the buzzer, and it's short. The Spurs win and advance to the finals 4-3 in one of the greatest Game 7s of all time. Conclusion, the king is dead. Long live the king. As the confetti falls, Victor Wembanyama walks to half court. He doesn't scream, he doesn't cry, he just points to the floor emphatically, yelling out, "This is mine, this is my house." In that moment, he cements himself as the best player in the league. Not Jokic, not SGA, not Luka, him. Because on the biggest stage against the most athletic team in basketball, Wemby did what only legends would do. He controlled the game without the ball. He erased the opponent's best shot, and he hit the biggest shot of his life. The Thunder are the future of the West, but the Spurs are the destiny. Thank you. Once again, it's your boy, Nicky P. You rocking with Eat, Sleep, Breathe, Hoops. Go hop in that comment section, man. Tell me what y'all think, how this finals will go down, how many games, who's going to ball out. Because essentially how I see it, whoever wins this series is going to win a championship. So this is the championship before the championship. So hop in that comment section, like it, share it, and let's chop it up. And until the next time, you rocking with Eat, Sleep, Breathe, Hoops. Peace.